Most of us enter relationships carrying a set of beliefs about love, beliefs we absorb from family, culture, movies, songs, and the stories we've told ourselves about past relationships. These beliefs feel obvious, even self-evident. Love should feel effortless. Your partner should understand you without being told. Conflict is a sign something is wrong. The right relationship will complete you. These ideas shape what we do, what we expect, what we tolerate, and how we interpret everything our partners say and do. But here is the question William James would insist we ask. Do these beliefs work? Not whether they are true in the abstract, whether they match some platonic ideal of love, but whether acting on them actually produces relationships that thrive. Because if a belief consistently leads to disappointment, resentment, and disconnection, it doesn't matter how beautiful or romantic it is. In James's terms, it has failed the pragmatic test. The pragmatic method, applied to relationships, asks us to trace the practical consequences of our beliefs about love. What happens when people act as though love should feel effortless? They interpret the normal friction and effort of any sustained intimate relationship as evidence that something is wrong, that this isn't the right person, or that love has died, or that they are fundamentally incompatible. This belief reliably produces premature exits from relationships that could have deepened through difficulty, or chronic low-grade dissatisfaction in relationships where real love exists alongside real challenge. The cash value of this belief, traced honestly in experience, is largely negative. Contrast this with the belief that love is something that deepens through sustained attention, effort, and commitment, that the friction of intimacy is not evidence of incompatibility but the very mechanism through which two people become genuinely known to each other. The research in relationship psychology, conducted by John Gottman and others over decades, confirms this pragmatic superiority. Couples who frame conflict as shared problem-solving rather than evidence of fundamental incompatibility have dramatically better outcomes. The belief that you can work through difficulty pays out in experience in a way the effortlessly belief does not. James's pragmatic analysis is especially illuminating on the question of commitment. Why commit? In an era of infinite options and a culture that valorizes keeping all options open, commitment can seem like an arbitrary self-limitation. But trace the cash value of genuine commitment, not coerced or fearful commitment, but freely chosen, deeply meant commitment, and you find something remarkable. Commitment changes the relationship's emotional landscape. When exits are not constantly being entertained, when both people know they are truly in, the psychic energy that would have gone into evaluation and self-protection can go into knowing and being known. Commitment is not the end of freedom. It is the condition under which a certain profound freedom becomes possible, the freedom to be fully yourself with another person. Honesty presents another pragmatic case study. The comfortable lie, the omission, the softening, the pretense that everything is fine, has obvious short-term cash value. It prevents an uncomfortable conversation. It maintains surface harmony. But its long-term consequences are well documented. Unspoken truths build into resentment, small omissions expand into large distances, partners who don't know each other's real experience cannot actually support each other. The honest conversation that is painful today costs far less, in James's accounting, than the dishonest silence that erodes trust over years. Forgiveness is perhaps where James's pragmatism is most counterintuitive. To many people, forgiveness seems like it denies the reality of what was done, like it gives a pass to genuine harm. But forgiveness, understood pragmatically, is not about the other person at all. It is about the consequences of carrying resentment in your own life versus releasing it. The evidence is overwhelming that chronic resentment damages the person who holds it, physiologically, psychologically, relationally, far more than it damages the person it's directed at. Forgiveness is pragmatically superior not because the wrong wasn't real, but because continuing to be organized around injury has enormous ongoing costs that forgiveness removes. James would also apply his self-fulfilling belief analysis to love itself. The belief that people can change, that your partner can grow, can learn, can become more of who they are trying to be, is not sentimentality. It is a belief with different practical consequences than the belief that people are fixed. The partner who believes in the possibility of growth treats their partner differently, responds to their efforts differently, creates a different environment in which change is actually more likely to occur. The belief participates in the reality it predicts. The pragmatic test for any belief about relationships is simple but demanding. Follow it out in experience. Does acting on this belief make the relationship better, more honest, more connected, more alive, more kind? Then it has cash value. Does it lead reliably to distance, resentment, or stagnation? Then it has failed the test, regardless of how romantic it sounds in theory. James would want us to be as rigorous and honest in examining our beliefs about love as we are in any other domain of life. Because love deserves that rigor. It is too important to manage on the basis of ideas that don't actually work. Subscribe to The Psychology of William James for more insights from the father of American psychology. New videos every week.